Hello and welcome to the March 17th, 2024 episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick. This is brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, I've started to put a little bit of money into this project. We're on every other Sunday usually, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News Facebook page. We're here on Facebook Meta, whatever the hell it's called this week. We are working to cross-platform into YouTube. This is a program dedicated to bringing good news to counter all of the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis with the hope of bringing some joy back to the world. Most of our articles are pulled from goodnewsnetwork.org, but we also appreciate articles sent in by you, the viewers. Oh, stop it, Sean. You need to give me this one because this is going to be a rough intro. Sean, you're killing me. I've been prepping all day for this. This is going to be rough. Let's get into the usual stuff. So, first off, news brew. It's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. So, in light of it being St. Patrick's Day, if you've got any sort of stout that is a Guinness, it's time to crack open a Guinness. I have chosen Guinness Extra Stout. It's 5.6% ABV. Irish Dry Stout, the stout that we all know and love. My first beer ever was actually a Guinness, so that says something about my preferences. No Balisong bottle opener for this, and we're pouring right into a mug. Oh boy. Guinness is always a foamy monster. But we don't want any of that gas in us, right? We want it all out of us. So let it be super heady. Let it be super gassy. Let it show off. We'll get to this as broke out of the ER. What? That raises more questions. 10-minute pour timer. Yes, it will be a 10-minute pour. Okay, Eliza, hope everything is okay. Hey, there's nothing wrong with non-alcoholic Guinness. I was actually almost handed one yesterday, and I was kind of offended, but, you know, if you gotta go non-alcoholic, go non-alcoholic. It's Guinness. Hope you're okay. This is gonna be a long pour. I'm still pouring this. We'll keep pouring as we get through the shout-outs. We've got several shout-outs that we're going to go through. So first and foremost, I want to give a shout-out to my brother, Chris Fiore. My brother is a phenomenal artist and a teacher. He teaches art. And right now, he's doing these amazing little crayon drawings for Monster March. He's doing one every day. They're really great. They're kaiju, mecha, just monsters in general. He's done a lot of the kaiju from like the Godzilla series of films. Also like the new Legendary films. He did one I think today was the Skull Crawlers from Kong Skull Island. So it's been really good. You can check out his art on his personal Facebook page, Chris Fiore, or you can look at his separate party table page, and I've included a link in the description for this video. Second shout out I want to do is for Fox and Hen Vineyards in Grand Haven, Michigan. If you're in Grand Haven, or even just Michigan in general, find this little gem of a vineyard. It's tucked away. It's small, but it's absolutely beautiful, and everyone's great there. It's just a fantastic experience, and some really some solid wine and cider, if that's what you're into. So they're open Fridays and Saturdays from 1 to 8, and you can find their link. I've included that in the description I've included the link in the description as well. I'm losing it a little bit here. I'm fine. Things are fine. Okay, that's good to know, Eliza. It's the never-ending Guinness. It's the never-ending Guinness. I mean, there's still more in the can. I got a tall one. Anything with the name Fox has your name on it. Yep. Isn't the adage, those who can't do, teach? If he can do art and teach. Yes, he can do art and teach, and it's amazing. I highly recommend you check him out. Hey, Julie. Next shout out, Julie. You're just in time. This shout out is for Julie. Julie was featured on the last Nick's News shout outs. Was featured on the last Nick's News shout out for her new job. And this time it's for your birthday, Julie. Happy birthday. We were supposed to do an episode on the 10th. Your birthday was on the 9th. And I was going to do the happy birthday, but I didn't do that episode because I was sick. So here we are, just keeping it in there. Happy birthday, Julie. Julie said, quote, that she was feeling super spoiled. You deserve it, Julie. Happy birthday. Yay, birthday much. I needed a lot of warm up. Sean, I needed a lot of warm up, and we're going to get to that part in a moment here. But speaking of Sean, or no, hold on. We're going to make Sean wait. Charlie, another fan in our of Nick's News, has successfully gone through gastric sleeve surgery. They are on the mend, recovering well, defying the odds of even their doctors. So congratulations, Charlie. Yep, Charlie's birthday was on the 6th. Congratulations and good luck on your new journey and your recovery. So now we'll get to Sean. Sean messaged me earlier today of another shout out for himself because he's conceited like that. Sean is our resident derailer. He's the conductor of the train, if you will, on derailing me from my news articles. He's also big on public transportation. And as of today, it's been a year since he quit FedEx Ground. And in 2 weeks, it will be the 1-year anniversary of him going to OC Transpo, where he's been transporting people ever since. So keep on safely bringing people around to their destinations and derailing my news articles, Sean. Hey, Eric. All right. So I made a little post today. I don't know if you saw it. If you didn't, I'll say it right now. I'm going to do a shout out here. It's only the second time doing Nick's News I think I've ever had to do this kind of shout out, but I felt it was important to do. And the post that I made earlier was, if you've got some rum, go grab a shot glass and grab that bottle of rum and pour yourself a shot. In fact, I'm not even going to get to the Guinness yet. I'm going to skip right to that part. So I've got a bottle of Kraken rum that's only for certain occasions. I know Kraken is like just off the shelf, but Kraken is kind of holds an important part in my life because of some friends and some get-togethers, and one of those friends is no longer with us, and so I'm gonna pour myself a shot of rum and start this off. I debated doing the entire Nick's News just drinking rum because this is going to be rough. So. And I'll get to the why for rum when we get there. So I wrote this all down. I'm going to read it as I wrote it because it's going to help me get through it. So if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm trying to focus on what I wrote, because it's just going to help me get through this. So our last shout out is going to be a bit more somber, and I front loaded the shout outs to try to account for such. On Thursday, the 14th of March, my friend Merrick Schulkbeer died unexpectedly. Merrick was well known and a friend to others here in the Nick's News community, and was pretty much a permanent part of our friendship group as a whole. And it was really an honor to be his friend in life. He was an amazing young man, the kind of friend who you meet back up with after any amount of time, a day, a month, a year, and it's like no time passed at all. Just talk it up, and it was like nothing ever happened. So I say there were more facets to Merrick than a D20. And if you got to know a quarter of them, that meant you had something special. In Merrick's mother, Michelle's words, he had a deeper level of empathy that some people may not have realized. He was charming, sweet, and shy, yet insanely sociable in the most random circumstances. His wife, Lisa, who I'm also friends with, said Merrick helped heal a broken heart. and then and taught her that it was okay to love again. He was the best dorky husband who would bring home cute little stuffies or treats to cheer Lisa up. I knew him to be quite a bit of a rock everybody could anchor off of, and he was a safe place to rest your head or your heart. Merrick is survived by his wife, Lisa, their fur baby, Voodoo, as well as his parents and several siblings. My heart goes out to Lisa, their family, and everyone gifted to have known Merrick. So rest in peace, my friend. And if you want to take a shot with me, Merrick's last name was Schluckbier, and he joked one day with me, one of the first times we met, we were on a pub crawl. When we got to hang out, one of the first times we really hung out was at a pub crawl. And he explained to me, even though the name Schluckbier to him meant to drink beer, or I can't remember the exact translation, but it was something like to drink beer, and he hated beer. On the pub crawls, he would drink liquor or other mixed drinks to keep up. You know, all of us would have a pint, and he would have whatever the appropriate alcoholic content of hard liquor was. And he was a madman, just a machine. And I had to verify he really liked rum. So thank you very much, Eliza, for checking in on that and finding out that rum was the drink of choice. So if you've got your rum, this one's to Merrick. Cheers. Yeah, I read from Lisa's it was the Grand Rapids pub crawl that they had their first morning. They had their first get together. Um, I had learned from the Grand Mile, thanks Eric, mentioning that one, that he just drank hard liquor and he was a machine. So, oh, I love you, Merrick. Rest in peace. All right, now I have to get through the news quote, and I might pour myself a second shot for this news quote. This is going to be a bad one. When I read this one, it's a poem. It's a whole poem. Yeah, I'm going to pour a second one just for getting through this. So, when I was reading this poem, I was trying to find a news quote that wasn't about St. Patrick because of this event that occurred. So I found this poem, and when I was reading the lyrics, I was like, holy shit, this is Merrick. So here goes nothing. And again, I'm going to be reading it because it's the only way I'm going to get through any of this is I'm going to read it. God, next news is supposed to be good news, but, here we go. Okay. So for a news quote, again, this is a poem. And it goes, I cannot say, and I will not say, that he is dead. He is just away. With a cheery smile and a wave of the hand, he has wandered into an unknown land. And left us dreaming how very fair it needs must be, since he lingers there. And you, O you, who the wildest yearn for the old-time step and the glad return, think of him faring on as dear in the love of there as the love of here, and loyal still as he gave the blows of his warrior strength to his country's foes, mild and gentle as he was brave when the sweetest love of his life he gave. To simple things where the violets grew, blue as the eyes they were likened to. The touches of his hands have strayed as reverently as his lips have prayed, when the little brown thrush that harshly chirred was dear to him as the mockingbird, and he pitied as much a man in pain as a writhing honeybee wet with rain. Think of him still as the same, I say. He is not dead. He is just away. And that one is from James Whitcomb Riley, who is an American writer, poet, and the best-selling author, best known for Little Orphan Annie and The Raggedy Man. And the name of that poem is Away. It's just, the title is Away. So, um, I'm not going to go through and reread that because I will die. Um, but to you, Merrick. Cheers. I like that quote, Sean. I might take that. Hail to those who live in our hearts and minds. They are never gone so long as their memory and the effects of their lives they touched are remembered. All right. Whew. Okay. We could, but I'm already 2 weekends late. To the fathers and husbands, the mothers and wives, to the brothers and sisters, the ones who enrich our lives, to the aunts and uncles, the cousins and friends, to ones who are with us from beginning to end. That's how it should be. It's only right. A good night to all, and to all a good night. Was really good too. We could go off the cuff, Julie. We could just chill, but we're already 2 weeks behind. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna get through 12 articles, 12 good news articles. A lot of them sent in by you all, and I think that's gonna bring spirits up a bit. We've got some good articles, I feel. So, bug update. It's a chill bug verse. It's a quiet bug verse. Nothing going on for them. Darkling beetles are darkling beetles. Roaches are roaches. So things go on. Nah, it's all right. We'll do news. We'll do news. I've been wanting to do news. Y'all have sent in some great articles between when we were supposed to do the last one and now. So we're gonna do some news. Good news was always welcome. Yep. All right. So back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. Our broadcast is broken up into 4 categories, and those categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and the wholesome notes, those really nice articles that we like to end on. So we're going to start off with category 1, science and technology. This first article was sent in by Cassidy. Cassidy, thank you very much for this one. I called it Carbon Reduction via Wizardry. I will copy and paste this in the chat if y'all want to read along with me. Seawater plant will capture 10 tons of CO2 and make 300 kilograms of H2 per day. This is pure wizard magic. After successful pilot programs, UCLA has partnered with Singapore's National Water Agency and others to build the world's largest ocean-based carbon dioxide removal plant, capable of removing 3,650 metric tons, or for those of us that work in freedom units, 8,046,873 pounds of the greenhouse gas per year, while producing 105 metric tons, or freedom units, 231,000 pounds of carbon-negative hydrogen. According to the World Bank, average global carbon dioxide emissions in 2020 were 4.3 metric tons, or about 9,500 pounds per capita. With this figure in mind, researchers from the UCLA Samueli School of Engineering have been working to trap atmospheric CO2 from the oceans in an effort to reduce it. Wizards are just technical engineers working with a homebrew operating system. Man, this sounds familiar. Following the successful launch of 2 seawater-based CO2 removal pilot systems in Los Angeles and Singapore in 2023, UCLA and its startup company Aquatic I hate how that is spelled, are eyeing the next phase of the project, a $20 million full-scale demonstration plant called Aquatic One. They're supported by Singapore's National Water Agency, the Public Utilities Board, or PUB. I kind of want to go to the pub. Singapore's National Research Foundation, NRF, and UCLA's Institute for Carbon Management, also called ICM. Scaling carbon removal solutions requires technology, bold and committed partners, and a focus on timely and measurable success, said Gaurav Sant, professor of sustainability at UCLA, Samuli, and ICM director. We have been very fortunate to create this shared vision with our partners in Singapore to scale aquatic solutions to the commercial scale and around the world. Do they test with yellow quackers? Or Quakers? Wizard Brew Pub! Quackers, yellow quackers, okay. The aquatic process... Every time I'm going to say aquatic. The aquatic process uses electrolysis, passing an electrical current through seawater from adjacent desalination plants. It causes chemical reactions that break water into its constituents, hydrogen and oxygen, while securely storing dissolved in atmospheric CO2 as solid calcium and magnesium-based materials for at least 10,000 years. So it's going to make bricks of CO2 and magnesium while processing out oxygen and hydrogen. The process activates and expands the ocean's natural CO2 storing ability by removing dissolved CO2 while enabling it to absorb more of the greenhouse gas. Quack, quack. A team of researchers and tech-scaling experts from ICM and Aquatic will head out to PUB's... They're heading to the pub. They're heading out to PUB's research and development facility in Tuas, western Singapore, to begin building the world's largest ocean-based CO2 removal plant over the next 18 months. Aquatic One will be built in 2 phases, beginning in March. The first phase is designed to remove 1 metric ton, or about 2,205 pounds, of CO2 per day by late 2024. In early 2025, installing 9 additional modules will complete what's called Phase 2. With 10 modules in operation, it's expected that Aquatic One will be able to remove 10 metric tons of CO2 per day from seawater and the atmosphere. Singapore pilot plant was deemed successful after removing just 1/10 of a metric ton, or 220 pounds, of CO2 per day. Aquatic One could remove 100 times more. The technology could also simultaneously produce nearly 300 kilograms, or 660 pounds, of carbon-negative hydrogen daily. This habit of blowing up hydrogen to wake up snoozing students. Jeez. That's one way to wake up kids. PUB has set a target of achieving net zero emissions by 2045 by adopting a 3-pronged approach, replacing fossil fuels with renewable solar energy, investing in research and development to reduce the energy requirement in water treatment processes, and capturing and removing carbon released into the atmosphere. We are pleased to further our collaboration with UCLA and Aquatic to develop a solution that has potential synergies with PUB's desalination plant, said PUB Chief Engineering and Technology Officer Chi Meng Pang. At PUB, I wish I was at the pub, we firmly believe that technological advancements delivered in partnership with academia and the private sector hold the key to addressing the complex challenges posed by climate change. Aquatic One's modular design reduces the risks usually associated with scaling technological innovation. The system will also use selective anodes, newly developed with the support of the U.S. Department of Energy's Advanced Research Projects Agency Energy, ARPA-E, to produce oxygen while eliminating the unwanted chlorine byproduct created during seawater electrolysis. Because for those who don't know, chlorine is deadly. This opens a new pathway to carbon dioxide removal at the gigaton scale, with the co-production of hydrogen, a clean fuel vital to decarbonizing transportation and industrial applications. Cassidy, thank you very much for sending in this article, and to everybody involved, UCLA and all of its constituents, with Aquatic. Cheers. Sean, I'll have my passport, and I'll come up to visit you. We'll ride. When you say aquatic, I hear the Bostonian. Yeah, aquatic and chowder. Chowder. And aquatic. Is that aquatic? Oh, man. Thank you very much, Cassidy, for sending that in. This next one is one that I found. Is is this open? I gotta close some random crap. I call this one Zap Goes the Lanternfly. And I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. For those who don't know, the lanternfly is probably the only insect that I would kill on sight. I am a bit of a bug lover, but I am not a fan of the lanternfly, so... High school student invents an AI-powered trap that zaps invasive lanternflies. A New Jersey high school senior has won a place as a finalist in the nation's most prestigious science fair with a clever new take on the bug zapper. Selena Zhang, 18, designed and field tested a synthetic, eco-conscious, AI-powered trap that uses machine learning to selectively lure and electrocute the invasive spotted lanternfly, a species native to China that is now plaguing 17 U.S. states. Zhang's invention placed her as one of the 40 finalists in the Regeneron Science Talent Search, the country's oldest and most prestigious science and math competition for high school seniors. Found in large numbers with few known predators, spotted lanternflies annually cause a tremendous amount of damage to agriculture. Eating plant sap from tree to tree, their feeding activity creates stress responses in plants that make them more susceptible to damage and disease. Get her working on the murder hornet. They are horrible, and they spread like a plague. Worse still, the lanternflies excrete a sticky substance colloquially known as honeydew that gloms onto the plants they feed on. It blocks photosynthesis and is a breeding ground for black sooty mold, which is also a destroyer of local tree populations. In total, it costs $3 billion in agricultural damages every year on the East Coast. Selena's artificial trap, made from a parasol seized from her family's patio, lures the insects using an incense she made from the lanternfly's favorite tree, the Tree of Heaven, which is also an invasive species. An electric mesh then selectively shocks the bug after detection. None of these features or mechanisms were obvious at the start, and Selena was forced to perform weeks of field study on the spotted lanternfly's behavior, learning where they like to feed on various trees and taking pictures of them. She also had to examine what was already being used to counter the invasive species already. Typically, traps of neonicotinoids are effective at killing the pest, but unfortunately they also kill all other bugs that are lured to it, like pollinating bees, so that's out. Sticky bands wrapped around trees have the same effect as harming friend and foe. If you live in Michigan or any place that is under attack by gypsy moths, you've seen those sticky traps before. They are indiscriminate. They are killing hundreds of gypsy moths, but they are also killing hundreds of native insects. Neonictids. It's neonicotinoids. So, neonictids. For field observations, you have to accumulate a lot of observations over time, and it can sometimes be uneventful, says Zhang, but it was also an important test of patience, because you get rewarded by these really interesting things. Taking 500 close-up photographs in addition to the field notes, she programmed a deep learning algorithm to detect when a spotted lanternfly had landed on the trap. A double-layer electric mesh designed like a chessboard then zaps the lanternfly depending on which square it's on. So it's the worst game of celebrity squares ever. Oh, you're not a lanternfly. You're not a lanternfly. You are Buzz. She says she got her inspiration from Dance Dance Revolution, a famous arcade game where players have to step on squares in coordination with the rhythm of a song. And this is the first time I've ever heard of Dance Dance Revolution coming about and causing the production of a AI-powered electric chair. Let me rest my buggy body here. What's that smell? It's me burning. Selena's prototype tree cost just under $200 to construct, but she believes large-scale production could dramatically reduce the cost. She is also researching ways to improve her attractant using an essence from the electrocuted lanternflies. So the dead lanternflies are gonna lure in more live lanternflies. Oh boy. You're not DDR nerd teen with an AI algorithm. The project uses AI. It uses... Oh, hold on. Oh, there. The entire system is solar powered. It's even green. The project uses AI, it uses chemistry, it's dealing with climate change and solar power. It's a whole amalgam of the interdisciplinary nature of science and engineering in its project, says Maya Ajmira, the president and CEO of Society of Science, which hosts the talent search. That's what makes it stand out for me. A general overachiever, Selena is an award-winning violinist who has performed solo at New York's Carnegie Hall, while also finding time to invent the artificial trap and illustrate her own comic books. Damn, in which she turned the spotter lanternfly into a menacing villain. Even better. Everywhere it goes, it's spreading disaster, Zhang told Smithsonian Magazine. With my comics, I wanted people to better understand the local invasive species and its behavior. That is amazing. To Selena Zhang, and hopefully to the widespread use of the artificial trap. Cheers. I know, right? If she doesn't win for that one. I am working on that. There are like some Q-ins and some widgets that I can add. I need to add an engineering widget that is something. It could be just gears turning, or it could be a fog. I don't want to do a foghorn because then I think of oh my god, what's the movie? Two versions of it have come out. One of them with Tom Cruise. The latest version came out with Tom Cruise. Earth's getting invaded by aliens. Explosion with lightning. Somebody help me out. I really can't remember the title of this movie, and it's killing me. I wonder if I can move the chat over. I think I can change the position of things so the chat's closer to the... War of the Worlds. There we go. War of the Worlds. Thank you, Donna. Thank you very much. That's really cool. All right, this next one was also sent in by Cassidy. Cassidy, thank you very much for this one. I called it Voyager. Voyager 1 Phone Home. No, not Tomorrow War. That was Chris Pratt. Actual title of this one, Voyager 1 Sputters Back to Life. And I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along with me. Voyager 1 sputters back to life. Late last year, Captain Janeway. I was supposed to do a title thing with this one, Cassidy. I'm sorry. If you're watching and you're disappointed in me, I entirely understand and I apologize. I am so sorry. I just went with an ET reference. Dang it. Next one, I promise I'll do an actual reference that you appreciate. Late last year, NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft, which has been traveling through space since launching almost 50 years ago, started sending nonsensical messages back to Earth. As if senility was catching up with it. We'd gone from having a conversation with Voyager with the ones and zeros containing science data to just a dial tone, Voyager project scientist Linda Spilker told Scientific America. But now, according to NASA's latest update, the Voyager mission team has spotted a sign of life in the form of a signal that turned out to be a readout of the memory of the aging spacecraft's flight data subsystem, or the FDS, an onboard computer that readies packets of data to be transmitted to Earth. The data wasn't in the proper format, but at least it was something. There were... Hey, Lisa. It was my honor. It really was. I should have given you credit that I did pull that. I did pull part of what I said from what you'd posted. And from, wow, that was what you wrote. That was really, it was very nice. Of course, I was going to honor him. I loved the man and was happy to do so. So I hope I did it justice. I hope I did him justice. I did right by him. And you, of course. So. All right. I'm gonna take a sip of beer real quick. All good. Okay. He was. By a lot of folks. By a lot of folks. Namely you. But, yeah. Okay. Back to the article. So some backstory to what happened with Voyager. Not too long ago, something happened to Voyager where it started sending nothing but gobbledygook and garbage. And the folks that were part of the Voyager program weren't quite sure exactly what had happened. It's happened in the past where space particles that have hit the boards in Voyager have changed zeros and ones. And in the past, what they've been able to do is they've been able to get Voyager to send them a diagnostic that tells them what changed. So they've been able to change it back. But Voyager 1 is in interstellar space right now. It's being bombarded with particles that it was not prepared for. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2's missions were never expected to go as far as they have and provide the data they have. So something hit Voyager out there, and it's been talking nonsense since. But it just recently, according to this article, sent a piece of information that they were able to decode. So knowing that, they might be able to build a solution to the problem. Voyager learned a new language. Crap. So the data wasn't in the proper format, but at least it was something. So while there are no guarantees, it's a hopeful sign of life that could allow Voyager 1 to continue its decades-long mission. It's an excellent development on Voyager, Joe Westlake, director of NASA's Heliophysics Division, told SciAm. The memory contains a wealth of data about Voyager 1's status, including science or engineering data for downlink, per NASA. The engineers are now comparing the data to the previous readout to figure out if there are any discrepancies that could explain why the spacecraft has been acting so strangely. It'll likely take some time to come to any conclusions, but the team is analyzing the readout, the space agency's update reads. Using that information to devise a potential solution and attempt to put it into action will take time. The ancient spacecraft has already been through many challenging times, from dwindling power supplies, it's running on plutonium, I believe, and grimy thrusters to a near-fatal software glitch. Despite the many hurdles, scientists are still trying to squeeze every bit of life that may or may not be left out of Voyager 1. My motto for a long time was 50 years or bust, astronomer Stamatios Kremigas, who has worked on the Voyager 1 mission since the 1970s, told NPR earlier this month, but we're sort of approaching that. So, to everybody at NASA working on the Voyager project and trying to get Voyager 1 back online and having this little glimmer of hope that we could be able to get some meaningful information back from it. And to Cassidy for sending in this article, cheers. There we go. Everything has left the can. Man, Sean, you're really screwing up today. All right, this next one was sent in by Eliza. Thank you very much, Eliza, for sending this one in. I called it Maybe Skynet Won't Kill Us All. I'll copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. For those who may be new, and how you're derailing yourself. For those who may be new, we have an ongoing thing where basically any article that's AI related, we call Skynet. Because we're all, from the generation of the Terminator movies. So I'll paste this in the chat if y'all want to read along. Leveraging AI for good in the healthcare industry. Artificial intelligence has garnered a lot of buzz over the last year, rightfully so, for its potential to revolutionize many industries, including healthcare. I believe AI-driven tools could be a game changer in improving human health and solving health inequities that persist in underserved communities in the United States and globally. But we're facing one big risk. If we don't collaborate, share data, and design AI algorithms correctly, the technology could exacerbate disparities in health outcomes rather than solve them. Skynet wants you to be healthy. Beep boop. The U.S. continues to grapple with a host of inequities that touch every corner of our healthcare system. Black and Hispanic Americans are less likely to receive interventions for heart attacks than white Americans, for example, and black women are more likely to die from pregnancy complications than white women. Hispanic and Native American adults have twice the risk of developing kidney failure compared to white Americans, while black Americans' risk is 4 times higher. AI is already in use in domains such as diagnostics, patient monitoring, mathematical modeling, and simulation predictions. Researchers are applying it in early-stage drug design and discovery. A couple of articles that we've had in the past have actually been on AI helping to figure out new drugs. And the identification of biomarkers for diseases. Also articles I think we've covered on Nick's News. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, scientists used AI, data sciences, and computing to track where virus hotspots were likely to emerge to try to stay one step ahead. It's a trap! Yet it seems we have only scratched the surface of what AI can do in healthcare. Our team is exploring the powerful ways that AI can help address health inequities and improve healthcare experiences and outcomes for all patients. So we are trying being the key word, to use AI to begin to bridge the gap in healthcare. Because we have these inequities that have existed because of biases and because of past incidences. That's what we'll say. Last year, in collaboration with a partner, MIT Solve, so the company that wrote this article is called Cure. I'm sorry, this article is written in first person. This one was a trap. We'll get through it. So Cure. So I'll twist it to work for us getting through it. Last year, in collaboration with Cure's partner MIT, Cure launched a challenge with the theme Health AI for Good. Cure called on entrepreneurs and teams to develop new and innovative ideas that responsibly and equitably use AI across specialties, disciplines, and sectors to advance health solutions. Cure's challenge finalists illustrate how AI might address inequities from several different angles while reinforcing key themes that will continue to inform health innovation in 2024 and beyond. Some finalists are working to improve disease awareness and early detection among underserved populations, including through AI tools that can predict kidney disease risk and create preventative treatment plans, AI-facilitated cardiovascular health screenings in trusted communities, in community spaces for Black patients, and data from electronic health records that can identify and screen patients in underserved communities with elevated cancer risk. AI holds great potential for improving diagnostic testing and access to diagnostics. Other innovators are exploring ideas such as AI tools that can improve the detection of fetal abnormalities in ultrasound images and simplify ultrasound technology so any medical professional can provide the service to pregnant women, even in non-traditional medical settings. That's fantastic. A robotic arm that can produce and send ultrasound images to specialists anywhere in the world. Even better, to collaborate. That is an accurate statement, Sean. An AI assistant that mimics a molecular tumor board, an interdisciplinary panel of experts that guide clinical decisions making in oncology. I'm pretty sure we've had several articles this year already that have been about using AI to find cancer, so this is just going one step further and making a cancer board. Additional finalists are investigating how AI can improve patients' access to quality healthcare through a service that provides AI social workers that can simplify scheduling wellness visits and health screenings for low-income families while enrolling them in assistance programs. Why wouldn't we have that? An AI software platform that can predict optimal conditions for cell and gene therapy development. We've had several articles. This is just like... Eliza, where did you find this? This is just a catch-all for everything that we've been going through with like AI and healthcare articles. This is fantastic. So Cure is actually really pushing for integrating AI into doing a lot of different things through competition to get folks to make good models and good AI programs that are going to help with healthcare. This is really cool. I don't normally like Forbes articles, but damn, this is solid. Internal analyzing robot arms, human reproductive health, AI controlled. Nah, this this will never be a bad idea. Never, ever. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all coming together. I can't do a Patrick Warburton voice, but damn, that's good. Oh, boy. What's next for AI healthcare? We use the term artificial intelligence, but Cure likes to think of it as augmenting human intelligence. Cure predicts that in the near future, we will discover more new applications for AI in healthcare, including predictive modeling, which is the autonomously performing thousands of calculations to help monitor and manage patients' health conditions, such as type 1 diabetes. That'd be a huge one. I hate diabetes. Radiology advances, giving human experts access to huge stores of data and computation capabilities to better diagnose and treat diseases or cancer. Early intervention, accelerating our ability to calculate warning signs and predict diseases at earlier stages, such as Alzheimer's, another huge one that I hate and would love to see done away with in my lifetime. Cure sees three main advantages in the next chapter of AI healthcare. First one, enhanced pandemic preparedness. Yeah, the pandemic kind of taught us that we were a little unprepared for the end of the world. The last 4 years have been enormously challenging for all of us, and pandemic fatigue is real. Yet we know that future pandemics are a serious threat, and we must learn lessons from the experience we've just been through as a global community. AI has the potential to prevent a future pandemic, which could protect not just one person's health, but an entire population and our public health system. We were understandably proud that Cure was understandably proud that Cure developed and released COVID-19 vaccines so quickly. Well, not Cure, but in the United States and other countries in general. Oh, look, another way for doctors to not pay attention to their patient. Okay, that is an accurate statement. I know we're getting into this, and I am on board with the AI helping, but that is an accurate statement right there. Apps with AIs that communicate your daily vitals directly to your healthcare provider to help you manage an illness like diabetes and cancer. That would be pretty cool. If the AI can do it better, use the damn AI. But that is a big one that Donna mentioned, is doctors not paying attention to patients. That is huge. Company already thinks a computer should control everything. Where's their office again? I'm pretty sure we should expect a reprogrammed cybernetic incident there anytime soon. We're going to see the Terminators come marching out of the Cure building. It was nice that that AI did help with solving COVID-19's situation. But man, this could go down any sort of road. This is a good article overall, Eliza. It really is. But it's also dangerous. It's also very scary. People are now living longer. They're not necessarily living healthier into old age. AI-based protective analytics could help detect, prevent, and treat diseases much earlier than they are today. More than 6 million people are living with Alzheimer's in the U.S., for example, and that number is projected to rise to close to 13 million by 2050. If we could identify the disease and intervene earlier, a significant percentage of older adults could live healthier, happier, and more productive lives. And then improving patient experience in hospitals and healthcare systems. Patients can often feel lost when navigating their own healthcare plans. AI has the potential to create completely different patient journeys, one in which people feel empowered to understand and use their personal data as active participants. So overall, there are some benefits. It didn't solve it, but it sure as hell sped the background science up. That is true. It didn't solve it. You're right, Sean. But it did speed up the background science. You're exactly right on that one. Thank you, Eliza, for sending in this article. Cheers. And to potentially being able to put more into the hands of AI that may be able to figure things out faster than the common man. That might be cheers worthy. That gets us out of science and technology. We're going to get into category 2, which is health and medicine. This first one comes from Cassidy, and it is cancer. Fuck cancer. So thank you very much, Cassidy, for sending this one. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. I know we're going to run late on this one. We're only 5 articles in, and it's already almost an hour into the broadcast. So, yeah. Zika virus vaccine emerges as an unlikely hero in battling brain cancer. Scientists from Duke NUS Medical School, Duke NUS, have developed a new approach using the Zika virus to destroy brain cancer cells and inhibit tumor growth while sparing healthy cells. Using Zika virus vaccine candidates developed at Duke NUS, the team discovered how these strains target rapidly proliferating cells over matured cells, making them an ideal option to target fast-growing cancerous cells in the adult brain. Their findings, published in the Journal of Translational Medicine, potentially offer a new treatment alternative for brain cancer patients who currently have a poor prognosis. Glioblastoma multiforme is the most common malignant brain cancer, with more than 300,000 patients diagnosed annually worldwide. Survival rates for such patients are poor, around 15 months, mainly due to high incidence of tumor recurrence and limited treatment options. For such patients, oncolytic virotherapy, or the use of engineered viruses to infect and kill cancer cells, may address the current therapeutic challenges. Zika virus is one such option in early development. The Duke NUS team used Zika virus live attenuated vaccine, or ZIKV-LAV strains, which are weakened viruses with limited ability to infect healthy cells, but can still grow rapidly and spread within a tumor mass. We selected Zika virus because it naturally infects rapidly multiplying cells in the brain, allowing us to reach cancer cells that are traditionally difficult to target. Our ZIKV-LAV strains also replicate themselves in brain cancer cells, making this a living therapy that can spread and attack neighboring disease cells, said Dr. Carla Bianca Luena Victorio, first author of the paper and senior research fellow at the Cancer and Stem Cell Biology Research Program at Duke NUS. Dr. Victoria and the team determined that ZIKV-LAV strains were highly effective in infecting cancer cells, as these viruses bind to proteins that are present in high levels only in cancer cells and not in healthy cells. Upon infecting a cancer cell, these virus strains hijack the cell's resources to reproduce, ultimately killing the cell. As the cancer cell's protective membrane ruptures upon death, it releases its contents, including virus progeny that can infect and kill neighboring cancer cells. There it is. If Skynet doesn't get us, the zombie apocalypse will. In addition, some cellular proteins released from the infective cells can activate an immune response to further inhibit tumor growth. So basically, the apoptosis of a cell, the death of a cell, at the hands of the Zika virus can trigger the immune system to go, I should be looking at this area a little bit more constantly and find more of this damn tumor that's going on. So that's really cool. Through their experiments, the team observed that infection from ZIKV-LAV strains caused 65 to 90% of glioblastoma multiforme tumor cells to die. While the Zika strains also infected 9 to 20% of cells from blood vessels in the brain, the infection did not kill these healthy cells. In contrast, the original parent Zika virus strain killed up to 50% of the healthy brain cells. So regular Zika kills brain cells like it's nobody's business. Weakened Zika doesn't kill brain cells and just kills these tumor cells. Yes, this may have been the premise of that one Will Smith movie with the dog, aka I Am Legend, which, if I remember right, they're actually coming out with a sequel to, which would mean that if they're doing a sequel, it probably follows the alternate ending of that film. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. I actually kind of like that film. Since the Zika virus outbreak in 2016, another outbreak that we've dealt with in our lives, Jesus Christ, understandably, there has been fear about the nature of the virus and its devastating effects. Through our work, we hope to present the Zika virus in a new light by highlighting its potential to kill cancer cells. When a live virus is attenuated such that it is safe and effective to fight infectious diseases, it can be beneficial to human health, not just as a vaccine, but as a potent tumor-eradicating agent, said Assistant Professor Anne-Marie Chacko from Duke NUS Cancer and Stem Cell Biology Research Program. She is also the senior author on the paper. The live attenuated virus strains were originally developed as a vaccine by Professor Ui Eng Eong's group from Duke NUS's Emerging Infectious Disease Research Program. As a control, the virus strains were also tested on brain neurons or nerve cells that had been cultivated from human stem cells by Assistant Professor Alfred Sun's team from the Neuroscience and Behavioral Disorders Research Program in Duke NUS. This provides a reliable screening tool to assess the safety and efficacy of using the virus as therapy in human cells. It's really cool. Can we stop going through major historical world events? From Skynet to I Am Legend, Geek Whiplash. Just right over to the other side. Yeah, we've had too many major historical events in our life. We could do without any more. Assistant Professor Chaco's group is improving these and other Zika virus strains to increase their potency in killing not only brain cancer cells but other types of cancer cells as well, while making them safer for use in patients. They are also modifying the virus so it can be imaged non-invasively after it has been injected into a patient. This will allow doctors to monitor where the virus goes in the patient and how long it's functional in the tumor. To this end, the group is exploring commercializing their virus strains as both a Zika vaccine and a treatment for brain cancer and potentially other cancers, such as ovarian cancer. This is a really good article. It's a little crazy, a little bombastic. We're using a virus to fight things, which is always bonkers when we pull that kind of crap off. But thank you very much, Cassidy, for sending in this one. And to everybody at Duke NUS who's cooking up how to use viruses to fight cancer, cheers. Resident Evil for sure. Here comes the T virus or the G virus. I call this next one a Salute Gemello. I think I actually heard about that one. Send that one to me. Maybe we'll use that for the next Nick's News. I'll copy this article into the chat if y'all want to read along. Italian-made exoskeleton gets disabled users walking and standing. This is a new robotic exoskeleton manufactured in Italy that promises to improve the quality of life and mobility of disabled or injured people in a creative way. The controls feature 3 modes of operation depending on the level of the use the wearer has in his or her legs, and it's made up of lightweight, interchangeable parts. Developed through a partnership by the Italian Institute of Technology and the National Insurance Institute of Workplace Injuries, the exoskeleton is called the Twin. Now we welcome RoboCop to the chat. Or as I said earlier, gemello, the twin. It was unveiled Friday. So this article came out on the... When did this one get posted? This one got posted on February 28th, so a little while back. Yes, a version of this was debuted in Japan. It was unveiled on Friday during a press conference held at the Museum of Science and Technology in Milan. Battery-powered motors located at the knee and hip joints power normal motion based on 3 different modes: walk mode, retrain mode, and twin care mode. Robo-nurse. I'm trying to remember what the RoboCop music is. It's playing in my head right now, but... Oh, man. Walk mode is for users who are paralyzed from the waist down and moves their legs for them with adjustable gait and walk speeds. Retrain mode is for users who have had some control over their legs and need to build up strength and mobility. To accommodate this, the exoskeleton provides assistance when it feels motion, similar to electric pedal assistance on electric bicycles. Lastly, in twin care mode, the exoskeleton helps people who are injured in only one leg. Software on board an Android tablet matches the movement and gait of a functional leg to the exoskeleton wrapped around the non-functional leg, ensuring the movements are even and balanced. In development since 2013, the twin has a battery life of about 4 hours and is made with lightweight aluminum alloy modules that can be disassembled for transport or if they need to be upgraded. It's still just a prototype, and crutches need to be used to help maintain balance, but it's an inspiring sight to see such cutting-edge technology being developed on behalf of the disabled. So to everybody in Italy who is working from the Italian Institute of Technology and the National Insurance Institute of Workplace Injuries, thank you so much for working on the twin. Cheers. This is indeed a sci-fi shit show. We've got Skynet, I Am Legend, Resident Evil, RoboCop. We are all over the place tonight. This next one was sent in by Cassidy. Thank you very much, Cassidy, for this one as well. I will copy and paste this in the chat if y'all want to read along. I called this one, which came first, the skin cell or the egg? Next in chat. Actual title: Scientists move a step closer to making IVF eggs from skin cells. Scientists are a step closer to making IVF eggs from patients' skin cells after adapting the procedure that created Dolly the sheep, the first cloned mammal, more than 2 decades ago. The work raises the prospect of older women being able to have children who share their DNA and to overcome common forms of infertility caused by a woman's eggs becoming damaged by disease or cancer treatment. Sort of cloning. The radical procedure, which may take a decade to perfect and approve in humans, would also enable male couples to have genetically related children, since the men's DNA could be combined in the fertilized egg and carried to term by a surrogate mother. And now clones. Should this technology become clinically viable in the future, it holds the potential to revolutionize IVF and offer hope to many infertile patients who have lost gametes due to disease, aging, or cancer treatments, said Alexei Mikhalchenko, the first author on the study at Oregon Health and Science University in Portland, U.S. Gametes are sperm and egg cells, by the way. Shokrat Metalipov, a senior author on the study, said his lab had spent the past 20 years developing fertility treatments for patients who lack healthy sperm or eggs. Existing options, he said, forced people to use donated sperm or eggs and have genetically unrelated children. Our technology would enable infertile patients to have genetically related children, providing a path to parenthood that is currently unavailable even with IVF, he said. Scientists around the world are working on several approaches to create eggs and sperm in the lab. Last year, Japanese researchers created eggs from the skin cells of male mice, leading to the birth of mouse pups with 2 fathers. Other teams hope to create sperm and eggs from embryonic stem cells, which are versatile enough to form any tissue in the body. Begun, the Clone Wars have. We are really jumping around in the science fiction realm. Like, we are all over tonight. Oh, boy. While many countries, including the UK, outlaw the use of artificial sperm and eggs to treat infertile couples, advances in the coming years may drive calls to permit the procedures if they are deemed safe and effective. The latest experiments published in Science Advances were performed in mice and took a different, much swifter approach to creating IVF eggs. The researchers start with a donor egg and remove its nucleus. They then transfer in the nucleus from a mouse skin cell. The egg is then cultured in such a way that it naturally discards half of its chromosomes. This crucial step ensures the egg contains the correct number of chromosomes, half from each parent, once it is fertilized with a sperm. Eggs can be made by our approach in a matter of 2 to 3 hours, said Mikhailchenko. Holy crap. All they need is your skin to create your clone. This is a mess waiting to happen. Cassidy, what is this article? I need to proofread these. I need to proofread my articles. Dolly the sheep was created in 1996 through a similar process known as somatic cell nuclear transfer, or SCNT. Professor Ian Wilmot and his team at the Roslin Institute in Edinburgh extracted the nucleus from a mammary gland cell of a fin Dorset ewe and infused it with an egg, producing an embryo that carried all of the ewe's DNA. That's how they made Dolly. This is how we get liches. Do you want liches? This is how you get liches. Metalopov's team announced in 2022 the birth of 3 live mice from their experiments, but the success rate was less than 1%. Their latest study focuses on how the eggs discard half their chromosomes, which is necessary for them to develop into a healthy embryo. Our current objective is to enhance the success rate at each stage of the process, Metalopov said. Paula Amato, a professor of obstetrics and gynecology and a co-author on the study, said the advantage of the team's technique was that it avoided the long culture times used by other approaches that reprogrammed cells. Over several months, a lot of harmful genetic and epigenetic changes can happen, she said. While the clinical applications of this technology may still be a decade away and will require thorough evaluation of safety, efficacy, and ethical aspects, because we don't want to make liches, its potential to address fertility-related issues offers promising prospects for future reproductive medicine, Mikhailchenko added. So it is interesting, and cheers to Cassidy for sending in that article, and cheers to everybody involved from the team at the Oregon Health and Science University in Portland on potentially coming up with a new version of IVF. Cheers. Starship Troopers, Skynet, I Am Legend, Resident Evil, RoboCop, Star Wars, Total Recall, D&D. We're hitting them all tonight, folks. Holy crap, this is an episode. Julie's keeping the tally. It's gonna keep going. Wow, alright, cheers. So that's going to kick us out of health and medicine and get us into our third category, finally. Flora and fauna, a.k.a. plants and animals. Whole new Derail Squad. I called this next one, Welcome to Jurassic Park, Vantara. Eliza sent this one in. Thank you very much, Eliza. And I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. All about Vantara, a 3,000-acre animal shelter launched by Anant Ambani in Jamnagar. Anant Ambani, the younger son of Mukesh Ambani, chairman of Reliance Industries, has announced the launch of his ambitious wildlife preservation project, which is all set to become the world's largest zoo and rehabilitation center. Dubbed Vantara, meaning Star of the Forest. So now we have Endor. This expansive initiative spans 3,000 acres within Reliance's Jamnagar refinery complex, often referred to as the Green Belt of Jugarat. Vantara, a brainchild of Anant Ambani and supported by Reliance Industries and Reliance Foundation, aims to be a haven for abused, injured, and endangered animals. The project is not merely a zoo, but a comprehensive rehabilitation center designed to recreate a natural and nurturing environment akin to the lush habitats from which the rescued animals hail. The extensive facility is witness to the project's dedication to wildlife conservation and is poised to engage in partnerships with prestigious organizations, including the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the IUCN, and the World Wildlife Fund for Nature, or the WWF. There's a whole war that went on between WWF and why it's called WWE today. Moving on. The Grand Conservation Center includes state-of-the-art healthcare facilities, hospitals, research centers, and academic institutions. Vantara's focus extends beyond its immediate borders with initiatives to rescue and rehabilitate animals globally. Since its inception, the initiative has successfully saved more than 200 elephants and a variety of reptiles and birds, including critical species such as rhinos, leopards, and crocodiles. Collaborations with rescue centers on a global level, notably in Mexico and Venezuela, have substantially expanded its influence. Notably, the center boasts a state-of-the-art elephant rescue center, specifically addressing the plight of elephants endangered due to relentless hunting for their tusks. The elephant hospital within the center is a marvel, which comes equipped with advanced medical facilities, including portable X-ray and laser machines, a pathology lab, and a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Can you imagine putting an elephant in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber? It's probably going to be a little bit confused. The center's 500-member staff, comprising veterinarians, nutritionists, and pathologists, works tirelessly to ensure the well-being of over 200 elephants, offering treatments such as hydrotherapy pools, a large elephant jacuzzi, and even Multani midi massages. You're giving elephants massages. Whatever works. Save the elephants. You mean the World Wrestling Federation? Ahem, ahem. World Wrestling Federation. Super zoo. It really is a super zoo. Under the umbrella of Vantara, the extensive Rescue and Rehabilitation Center offers sanctuary to numerous animals rescued from exploitive conditions or near-death situations. With a dedicated staff of 2,100 people, the center has offered protection and care for over 2,000 animals, representing 43 diverse species. The facility offers ICU, MRI, CT scans, X-rays, ultrasounds, endoscopy, dental scalers, lithotripsy, dialysis, and cutting-edge technology for live video conferences during surgical procedures. Vantara's visionary leader, Anant Ambani, envisions the project not only as a monumental conservation effort, but also as a hope for global biodiversity initiatives. Rooted in the philosophy of Jeev Seva, or caring for animals, inspired by Swami Vivekananda, the initiative reflects a mission to protect critically endangered species native to India, restore vital habitats, and contribute significantly to global conservation. Anant Ambani's dedication to wildlife conservation aligns with his focus on sustainable energy production, as reflected in his leadership of Reliance's renewable energy initiative in Jamnagar. Striving to transform Reliance into a net carbon zero company by 2035, Ambani has adopted a comprehensive approach to environmental stewardship. Wakanda forever. Vantara represents a pioneering venture that not only addresses the immediate needs of rescued animals, but also contributes to the broader conversation on wildlife conservation and the coexistence of humans and animals. As it unfolds, Vantara stands poised to be a transformative force, showcasing how forward-thinking institutions can lead global initiatives for biodiversity preservation. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Eliza. And to Ananta Ambani for founding Vantara, this massive sanctuary and research and health facility for animals. Cheers. Back to Star Wars, WWE, Marvel, Total Recall, Jurassic Park. It's everything. Oh boy. Cassidy sent us this next one. I called it Back in Black. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. I know, Julie. This is a long one, but I think long for all the right reasons. Actual title of this one: 21 black rhinos successfully moved to new Kenya home with space to breed, hailing return to the species after 50 years. Cassidy sent this one in. Thank you very much, Cassidy. The Kenya Wildlife Service celebrated the successful transfer of 21 eastern black rhinos to establish a new viable breeding population for the species that was on the brink of extinction a decade ago. Oh, keeping track of it all. In an 18-day exercise executed by highly trained capture and veterinary experts, the Loisaba Conservancy received the 21 rhinos from three different locations, becoming the 17th sanctuary in Kenya where the mammoth animals can roam and intermingle. Now, if you look at the picture, the first picture, you'll see a rhino with a tranquilizer dart sticking out of its ass. It's incredibly exciting to be part of the resettlement of rhinos to a landscape where they've been absent for 50 years, said Tom Sylvester, CEO of Loisaba Conservancy. Kenya had 20,000 black rhinos in the 1970s before poachers decimated them for their horns. By the time that the Kenya Wildlife Service, the KWS, was established in 1989, rhino numbers had declined to below 400. Now we have Ace Ventura. Okay, we're still in Wakanda. Since then, Kenya's eastern black rhinos have made a remarkable comeback, and today there are an estimated 1,004 individuals. Kenya is a stronghold of the eastern subspecies of black rhino, hosting approximately 80% of the entire world's surviving population. Surpassing the milestone of 1,000 rhinos within 4 decades is a significant accomplishment, said Munira Bashir, director of the Nature Conservancy in Kenya. The really cool rhinos in Wakanda. Yep. The reintroduction this month of these 21 animals this month is a great milestone in Kenya's Rhino Recovery Action Plan and was made possible by support from the Nature Conservancy, the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, and other partners, and the 3 reserves from where the 21 rhinos originated: Nairobi National Park, Olpejita Conservancy, and Liwa Conservancy. There is another photo of a group running away from a rhino that has just been woken up. Run, everyone. One guy got bowled the hell over. That man, check that man for a pulse. In the recent past, one of the main causes of mortality of rhinos has been territorial fights due to limited space in sanctuaries, which has also led to suppressed growth rates explained Dr. Erestus Kanga, the Director General of Kenya Wildlife Service. I am elated to be associated with this momentous effort to secure more space for this cornerstone species. Armored tactical combat unicorns. That is what a rhino is. Meanwhile, the southern white rhino continues to thrive in Kenya, having increased from 50 individuals that were imported from South Africa in the 80s and 90s to reach a current population of 971 individuals. Kenya is also playing a critical role in efforts to save the northern white rhino from extinction, as it is host to the only remaining 2 females of the species left in the world. The International Biorescue Project has developed 30 embryos awaiting implantation into surrogate females within the closely related subspecies of the southern white rhino. The return of black rhinos to Loisaba, 50 years after the last known individual here was killed by poachers in the 1970s, is a demonstration of how impactful partnerships between governments and conservation NGOs can be for restoring, managing, and protecting our natural world, said Dr. Max Graham, the CEO and founder for Space for Giants, one of the project partners. And of course, the return of black rhinos here gives us all one of the most precious commodities of all: hope. Cassidy, thank you for sending that one in. And to everybody involved in the relocation and return of the black rhino to its native habitat. Cheers. If you've stuck with us this long, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. We are going to transition out of flora and fauna into category 4, wholesome notes. Those nice articles, the touchy-feely ones that we like to end on. Thank you, Cassidy. Cheers. Sorry. Thank you, Donna. This has been a long one. All right. I called this next one Rock On, Kids. And I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. Eddie Van Halen's son donates $100,000 to kickstart a charity that funds school instrument purchases. Through a charity supported by his father, Wolfgang Van Halen has donated $100,000 to launch a special program to support public schools to acquire instruments for their music programs. For decades, budgetary debate has remained heated about the importance or the lack of music programs in public schools, and Mr. Van Halen is stepping in to ensure educators who believe in the power of music to enrich educational experience have the resources to confer it to their students. That is a good one. Yeah, Gene Simmons is a music teacher. That's another good one that we should cover if it pops up in an article. Working with the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, or MHOF, Van Halen has launched the Adopt a School campaign, which connects qualifying schools across the nation in need of musical instruments with donors interested in supporting music education within a community of their choice. Music has been a huge part of my life, and it is our family's great pleasure to help support music education programs and bring the gift of music to students across the country, said Wolfgang Van Halen. Music education has proven to be a huge contributor toward a student's success in school and in life. I want to say music helped me get through quite a bit. That's really cool. School of Rock. Now bring back shop class, combine it with music class, teach them how to craft with their own instruments. That would be amazing. That would be fantastic. Some studies have shown that music classes promote academic excellence and other positive outcomes in school. Like an article that's linked from Finland that found increased quality of life scores for students in ways that other non-academic classes like sports and visual arts did not replicate. So music has a huge impact on students. Well, if you got an article for that too, send it in for the next one. I will gladly read that. I got to proofread these a little bit, but I'll go through it for sure. Despite this, music is famously the first program to get crushed under the weight of school district budgetary constraints. Our mission is to make sure there is an instrument in the hands of every student who needs and wants one. By increasing schools' inventories of quality, playable instruments, music teachers will have the tools they need to deliver a quality music education to students who want to learn, said MHOF CEO Tricia Williams. According to Guitar World, the project was developed off the back of a national survey that found 68% of educators had experienced at least one instance of turning an interested student away from music education because of lack of resources like instruments. Also in the survey, which included 225 schools, students were found to struggle in class from using instruments that were in need of repairs, but which the school had no money to pay for. Shy kid plus music theater equals pirate queen. That's good to hear, Julie. Sean, that's really cool too. Music literally saved your life, both psychological and physical. One to prep my mind for the fight, the other to keep me fighting. That's fantastic, Sean. Eddie Van Halen, the virtuoso guitar player from the band Van Halen, was a devoted supporter of MHOF, and the charity work he began is carried on by his son Wolfgang, whose $100,000 donation will kickstart the Adopt a School campaign in 100 schools nationwide. To Mr. Wolfgang Van Halen, and to any student who wants to learn music, cheers. I called this next one Roof Goof. And I'll copy and paste this in the chat if you all want to read along. Contractor's roof goof becomes unexpected blessing for Oklahoma couple. Scott and Deborah Center are really impressed with their home's new shingled roof. It's hail resistant, and it lowered their homeowner's insurance. The only thing was, they didn't order a roof. It was put on their house, if one can believe such a thing, completely by mistake. The contractors at Graco Roofing Construction of Edmond, Oklahoma were probably 80% finished taking the old roof off when they realized that contingencies and protocols that had stood for 30 years to prevent such a thing from happening had failed, and that they had just torn the roof off of the wrong house. 5 hours away on a business trip, the Centers got a shocking phone call. Had to be humble, said Doug Gray, the owner of Graco Roofing and Construction. We made a mistake, and here's what we can do to fix it. It was pretty funny, remarked Scott, speaking with News on 6. They were very gracious, very sweet, said Gray. They understood. A little shocked, obviously. Coming home, the couple thought Doug and his team had done a phenomenal job, with Scott mentioning that if they hadn't received the call, they probably wouldn't have even noticed the new roof after they got back. And despite Mr. Gray's roof goof, the couple actively recommends his service to anyone looking to replace their roof, for both the quality and, more importantly, the honesty. And there is a video attached from inside about this roof goof, where a couple got a brand new roof on their home by accident. Take an accidental roof. I think a lot of folks would take an accidental roof job. Oh man! So to the contractors at Graco Roofing Construction for catching their mistake, but also doing the right thing. Cheers. All right, last article of the night, number 12. I called this the Golden Rule. And I will copy and paste this in the chat for y'all to read along if you would like. For years, Bill walked 6 miles to work until she gave him a lift and started a rideshare service just for him. For years in the rain or cold, Bill Moxalewski, I even practiced that last name. Bill Moxalewski walked 6 miles to work at the local Walmart as a night shift janitor. But that all changed the day a woman stopped and offered him a ride. Christy Conrad learned that despite being legally blind, he possessed a steadfast determination to trudge in any kind of weather in order to work. I picked him up in 9 degrees the other morning, said Christy, who also learned that he used to ride a bike until he got hit by a car. But Christy has her own family and couldn't always be there, so she started a Facebook group to seek other volunteers who could give Bill a lift. Mr. Bill's village soon attracted over 1,000 members who wanted to keep an eye out for the man walking in a camouflage jacket at sunset or sunrise. One group member said it's now like a competition. Who can give Bill a ride today? There's a lot of good people in this world all over the place, Bill told Steve Harmon and his CBS News crew, who recently visited Cabot, Arkansas, to tell the heartwarming story. After seeing the TV news story shared across the world, Christy cried, but all happy tears. I hope if anyone takes anything from this, it would be, use the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated, she wrote on the Mr. Bill's Village Facebook page. When you see a need, fill it if possible. Chris Puckett, the local owner of Puckett Auto Group, saw a way he could help. He wanted to gift Bill a vehicle, but since Bill's not allowed to drive, the car was donated to Christy, a fitting example of the old adage, it takes a village. And there is a video attached if you want to watch of Bill's CBS interview, as well as a little bit more information. But definitely to Christy Conrad for stopping and picking up Bill and bringing him to work and starting a ride share for one man just trying to get to work. Cheers. I'm not crying, you're crying. See a need, fill a need. Well, that's about everything for tonight, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Much love, Lisa, for being a part of tonight's Nick's News, for coming in. And much love to our friend Merrick, who is no longer with us, to Merrick Schluckbeer. Thank you all again for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News Facebook page or the upcoming Nick's News YouTube page. Again, we're live usually every other Sunday. Our next episode will be on March 31st in 2024. So I encourage participation. If you feel so inclined, you can message or post suggestions for a news brew, for a shout out, for news quotes, or just good articles that you find that I can present on future episodes. If possible, I do appreciate a variety of articles spread out across our 4 major categories, and those categories, again, were science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and the wholesome notes, those really nice ones we like to end on. Yes, as Eliza pointed out in the chat, our next episode is on Easter Sunday. I will be presenting that night, so if you don't catch it, that's fine. If you check out the replay, that's even better. If you would, like the video, like the page, whatever gets the algorithm going to be able to get this good news kind of spread, again, to combat all the bad news that we're bombarded with on a daily basis. So I love you all so much. Thank you again for tuning in. I love you all. And y'all have a great night. And I'll play us out.